We've got a pretty long meeting today, and Mr. Pownell called and said he's going to be a little bit late, so we'll go ahead and begin. I'll call the meeting of the Paulding County Board of Commissioners June 14, 2016 work session. Welcome all our invited guests and elected officials. Did I say elected officials? In the audience. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Marshall, you bring forth the sign-in?
We don't have to. We don't have one today.
No one?
No.
No. For our invocation and pledge, Joey Meek, chaplain for the Paulding County Sheriff's Department, would you stand with me if you're able? And you also do the pledge.
Let's pray. Father, we love you and we thank you so much for the many blessings of life. We thank you for this county, Father, and what it's meant in our life, our home, Father. I pray, God, that you touch, and I pray that you continue to bless. I pray for our leaders, Father. I pray that you give them wisdom and guidance, Father. We pray, Father, for the tragedy that's befallen Orlando, Father. I pray for those families, Father. I pray that you touch in a special way. Praying, Father, we know that we're living in such a wicked and evil world, Father. I pray again that you give our leaders the wisdom, Father. I pray, God, that you guide them in a very special way. Most of all, that we would follow you in your word, Father. We love you, thank you, and want to praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor, that's a beautiful prayer. Thank you so much. Minutes of May 26, 2016 work session minutes and the May 26, 2016 board meeting minutes are available for your review. I'll make this announcement today that the previously scheduled July 26, 2016 work session and regular meeting has been changed to Monday, July 25th, 2016 due to the runoff election. So we'll be moving that day up to a Monday. Also, I had the pleasure this morning of touring our new DDS where you're going to be able to get your driver's license. Mr. Crow, did you make it over there? It is a beautiful facility and state of the art. It is the new element by which all other DDS buildings will be built. Fabulous equipment in it, and moves easily, and you all will be proud of it. It's right behind the courthouse, so you can follow the DDS signs and fall back there to look at that. There will be a grand opening sometime in July, but this is considered what we call a light opening. And I knew probably they had to go ahead and start processing folks, but may have been a problem with the governor's schedule, so they'll do a light opening and then a grand opening. Now at this time, I would like for the finance department, if they would, to come stand up front in front of the firing squad. Anybody that's in finance? These folks are absolutely awesome. They have been awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in government accounting, financial reporting, and this attainment represents a significant accomplishment by government and its management. So, Tabitha, how many years have you received this award? 18 years. And they are the coup d'etat. They are the top. If you would, I'd like for y'all to recognize them. Breathe in a little bit, like you love each other, like you work together. Tabitha, would you like to say anything about your team?
I would like to thank them all.
Thank y'all. Vernon said, now y'all get back to work. At this time, Ron Davis is asked to make an announcement.
Thank you. Thank you, David. I just wanted to let the folks, well, everyone's invited, but specifically the folks that are in Post 1, I'm going to be hosting a town hall meeting on Monday, the 27th of June. It'll be at 6:30. It'll run about an hour, and it'll be at Stars and Strikes, Highway 92 and 120. So everyone's invited to that. I encourage you to come out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Invited guests this morning, we have Robert Reynolds, Economic Development Director, to give us a presentation regarding the Paul and Finch Studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to come speak to you about some opportunities we believe are available for us for the film studio. As you know, and just to give a little bit of a background on the film studio, as you know, it was created and bonds were issued in 2011 for creation of that film studio. And over the years between now and there, it's had some success stories and some good things have happened there. But we'd like to take advantage of that opportunity, maybe take it to a new level with productions, and to really put Paulding County a little more on the map with some of the films that have taken place in the past, and some of the opportunities that are coming in the future, and just take advantage of some of the great things that Georgia has put in place as far as creation of the film world, as you know, and where we're positioned now, right in third place across the nation of how many productions take place in the state of Georgia. One of the things that we've looked at since the EDO sort of became aware of the operations of the film studio is a way to take it really to the next level and look at how to manage that and really enhance the operations there. It has been, as you know, kind of involved with a lot of the other things that have been going on with the IBA and those things that the IBA manages. And we think there's an opportunity for the EDO to work with a strategic partner to really take that studio to the next level and position it for potential sale to a partner that would make good things happen, continue to happen in Paulding County. I'll be happy to answer any questions as I go through this morning, but talk a little bit about where we are today and what the future holds. There is a film in there now that is in production, and they have been paying rent, as you guys know. The contract with that film has been extended into August, and from that point on, we don't really have anything sitting there ready to go. So we really got to begin to market this thing again, or continue to market in really a better way than we think it's been marketed in the past. What we're proposing this morning is the creation of a film commission. And that film commission will focus not only on the film studio, but that'll be its predominant focus moving forward. Getting in productions, taking full advantage of the studio, having it used and utilized to its greatest potential, and then also seeking out strategic partners, as I said earlier, for a potential sale of that studio at some time hopefully in the not too distant future. It's not really being marketed for that right now. There is a marketer, as we understand it, in place on a month-to-month basis with the IBA that is marketing that studio, and I don't know how many others. What we're proposing with the creation of this film commission is that's our baby, and it's number one, and we're marketing it as the best place to produce these productions in the state of Georgia. We do not have a film studio yet, and I know we've had some individual discussions with you about a strategic partner. We've got a proposal in front of us with Matt Pizzelli, who's in the room, who has a very strong interest in making good things happen in Paulding County. We think it's a great way to really take the studio to the next level once we get this film commission created. So what we're proposing today is that the Board of Commissioners, County Commission, take action to authorize the creation of that film commission via the EDO. The EDO would staff and manage the film studio and have the ability to enter any contracts and management potential with those. As you know, we want this to be fully out in the public. We're going to have those those commission meetings fully available, open. All the financial records and everything will be separated and broken apart from the IBA, where any things that need to be looked at as far as the film commission and the studio, those financial reports will be instantly available. We'd also like to ask the commission, ask the IBA to enter into a contract, or lease contract, with the film commission, where all management, promotion, marketing, and all that come through the film commission. The IBA at that point would then just merely hold title to the facility, be the actual owner, enter into a lease with the film commission, and any new films or productions would be through a sublease between the production company and the film commission. Okay. And we also like to ask that the commission instruct the IBA to turn over the financial assets where we are today that they have on the books to manage the film studios going forward and to cover any operational costs that are going forward at that point as well. I know that's a lot to digest. Believe it or not, I do have a pretty PowerPoint presentation, but it got too detailed. So what I thought would be best this morning is just to lay that out there and field any questions about the potential for creating that film commission and the management of the studios going forward.
Robert, you and I talked about this when you first came up with the idea. I think it's a great idea. There is currently a contract on the film studio that you're very aware of. That came, I guess, when Synergy starts, a lot of people get interested all at one time. So I know, I can't tell you today that I know the status of that contract, but I do know there's honest money down and those type of things. So hopefully we get to move forward what you're proposing. Maybe one of those situations where, if you want to say, you hope it doesn't close or whatever.
Well, and I know they're doing some due diligence. I don't believe there's really a formal contract in place, but part of what we're proposing is that we would have a group via that film commission to vet any of those contracts or any of those potential offers and bring those after we thoroughly look at them and look at them as this the best interest. Yeah, obviously we want to make a good sale. Get this in the private sector hands. But we want to vet those contracts and see if there's, if they really make sense for the best interest of Paulding County going forward. I would propose at least a quarterly update with the commissioners from the Film Commission. The Film Commission will be giving monthly updates to the EDO and via the EDO monthly updates to the IBA because the IBA is the owner. But we think it's going to take that kind of hands-on control to really get a contract and make a sale into the best interest of the county. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it can work very well. Are you proposing that the EDO appoint the film commission or the commissioners appoint the film commission?
Let me back, I should have said earlier, the EDO is in agreement. They think this is a great way to go forward as well. Needs your endorsement. I think the EDO would serve in the very short interim as that film commission. And then we would give a proposal to you whether that's appointed or probably appointments by the EDO and the commission at some point to create that. But really time is of the essence. I think short term that EDO would just be that, and I'm talking about very short term. Create a film commission, the EDO staff it, and that board act on it in a very short interim. And then we, as the attorneys, draft that creation of that commission and the appointments go forward later.
Any questions?
Yeah, I've got a question in statement. I probably met with Robert and Matt more than anybody in this room has, and I think it's a very interesting idea. And I'm going to kind of blow toot your horn a little bit, okay, Mr. Reynolds?
I thought you said you were going to blow me away there for a second. I was going to duck behind the podium.
Most of you know he came from Douglas County. At one time, he was Douglas County's economic development person. In Douglas County, he did set up a film commission. And most people don't know this, but Douglas County has no movie studio. However, they are the #2 county in Georgia for making movies. I think that's because of the work that Robert did there and his idea over there. My ultimate goal would be to sell the movie studio because I don't think it's a role of government. I think it's a good use of government money. I think the private sector should be involved in that. If I originally been on the commission, I would have voted for that. I would like to make it successful so that we can sell it. I think Einstein said doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results is insanity, and I would agree. So I think we do need to take a different step and try something new. Now, something I would like to know, Mr. Reynolds, is if it does become successful and Matt Mazzelli and his group's able to purchase the studio, would you still need to have a need for a film commission at that time?
I think the film commission, yes, and I think the film commission would continue on what we did. And film commission, when we were in Douglas County, was we just provided some staffing support and some in-kind support and things like that. But we worked with those guys. And one of the things I'd like to see happen here is creating a database for future filming locations and things like that. Whoever is the ultimate owner of the film studio, the film commission just partnered with those guys to make Paulding County an attractive place to continue to do those films, commercials, productions, whatever they are. I think if we just say, oh, well, here's a studio, you go off and go on by yourself. I think there's things we can do in partnership with them. And part of the role of economic development is help that private sector be successful. So certainly I'd like to see that film commission continue to help wherever it ends up.
And then one last question, Chairman Austin, I guess this is to you, because I'm unaware there is a contract on it now. Is that what you were saying? And earnest money has been paid?
Yes.
Okay, I was unaware of that. I don't know if you knew that, did you, Mr. Reynolds?
From what I've been told, there's not a signed contract for purchase. That's what I've been told. Now, I guess really, Mr. Chairman, what I've been told, there's not a signed contract for the purpose. There has been money deposited for due diligence, but I believe that due diligence period has expired. And that's what I've been told. I have not been made privy to those.
There was an extension of the due diligence time, and whether it closes or not, it's like all other closes. You don't know. But,
yeah, we want again.
I'm trying to keep Matt informed where we are in the process and where it is, and so they're, as far as I know, they're finishing up that due diligence.
We'd like to get as a commission get in and take a look at that contract, make sure it's in the best interest of, which I'm sure the IBA is up to as well.
Great.
I got a couple questions.
Okay.
So in the meantime, you're looking at the EDO being the commission,
Just
commission.
Let's in the very
Just for
short
the
term.
short term,
Right.
and you're talking about your board.
That's correct.
Okay. So we've met several times. Met with Matt Mazzelli several times. We've discussed things over. So this morning, that's the first time I've heard there's some sort of a contract, whether that's in writing or not in writing, which concerns me a little bit. If we've got money in the due diligence period, but yet it's not in writing, but we've extended it. So I'd like to know about that. And I told you when we met, and I told Mr. Collette, and I told Matt Mazzelli, it's all got to be laid out on the table. And you know what I'm saying. I had a couple of requirements. One of those requirements was met a couple of weeks ago. And but it's all got to be laid out on the table so that we know exactly what's going on with the IBA today, and that film commission and/or board of commissioners has total control of what's going to happen with those funds coming in and what we're going to sign up to do.
Right.
I don't want to get into anything where we don't have control over it if we're the ones going to be footing the bill. So if we're going to foot some sort of bill or be responsible or whatever, we need to have control. So I want to know where we're at there. I'm very interested in maybe after this meeting finding out about the contract that's out there and the due diligence period and where we're at on it, right? How much money was put down and those type of things, and what the contract's for as far as the total amount due. I've done a good bit of research over the last couple of weeks, and so there's several things I want to look at. If we go and we do something like your suggestion, which I think you've got some great ideas, and we do something like your suggestion with a film commission, whether it's Mr. Bazzelli or someone else, I want to have it all laid out. I want to know exactly what it is from A to Z, but then also want to look at the timeline, how much money, and then if we're looking at putting so much money out over 18 months, 24 months, 36 months, how would we be if we priced it better today and was able to make something happen like what's going on now with the contract, and we were able to not be in a contract with somebody for the next 18 to 36 months spending money. We were able to take a small loss up front to move it, but still look at the film commission and some other things that we could do to help out with the private sector. I just want to make sure it's all laid out on the table. And we've done a lot of talking. I know you and Mr. Clegg have done more, but you and I have met with Mr. Reynolds twice, so maybe more than that, and Mr. Bazzelli. But we come here this morning and we hear this contract, so
Well,
and that's not your fault.
No, let me
It's not your fault
let me
at all.
answer some of those questions, okay? Trying to think the best way to start. When we first began talking about this, like you've all talked about, there's been several discussions, okay? In the very first conversation I had was I need to look at financial status of the studio. And you guys are all, so you shaking your head.
We're all, yeah.
Right, okay. So that's what I've been trying to do. And Tabitha's been a big help about the outstanding bond balances and things like that, okay? December 31st, 2015, a year in last year, it had a loss, an operating loss of $129,000 and some change. Okay, that did not include the bond payments. Okay, you total that up, it was about $600,000. Okay, we're proposing a way to fix that. I'm not here today asking for a commitment of financial resources. I'm asking for the commitment of the financial resources that exist within the IBA that are part on the books of the Atlanta Film Studios. Okay, and I can tell you what that number is. It's about $200,000. Okay, that's what's been accumulated over the life of this last film that's in the studio and some repayments of things like that. There's some monies on the books that are earnest money, for example, and security deposits. Okay, so you look at the balance that's showing, it's less because of those outstanding things. I've asked about the contract. Okay, just telling you what I'm being told, meeting with the attorneys, there's not a signed contract in place for a purchase. There is money. Again, the financials is where I'm going to look at everything first and foremost. Financials, there is an earnest money check for the due diligence, as the chairman said. I don't know, I haven't been able to find a document that says this due diligence ends any certain time. And I don't know what that proposal is for the sale of the studio. I don't know if it's $1 or $100 million. I have no idea. But until we create a film commission where we can get our hands wrapped around this, where you have the control that you're asking about, I can't answer those questions. And all I'm saying is here today, I think there's a way to make this thing work. And we're going to be totally transparent. And you're going to have one financial listing about the film commission and what's going on with that studio that's open at any time. And we'll present that at a moment's notice. And, you know, before we sign, or the IBA, or we present any proposal to the IBA to sign a contract for a sale or enter into new productions or whatever, you guys will know about it. That's all I can say. I mean, there's things out there that I've haven't been made privy to.
But I have full faith in you, and I trust you.
Appreciate it.
Okay? We've been paying the bonds.
Absolutely.
We didn't ask to pay them. We've had to pay them. And I know that the film commission sounds good, but I think there's some answers that we can get before that. And if that means two of us meeting with the IBA and the chairman stepping out of the meeting or whatever we got to do, I would like to see what it is so that we know exactly what's going on. And I think if there's actually a contract and some earnest money, there should be something in writing. I mean, just
Ms. Skipper's firm has all that, so, do I have it in hand? I don't, but Tom Cable does.
And I'll make a call to Tom after this meeting.
Again, I just, I'm trying to find out where we are. That's
Right.
all I was trying to get to,
I
is
get
where
you.
we are and how, and again, we're just proposing a way to move forward. I mean, you said it, you've been making these payments for, what is it, 6 years, 5 years, Tabitha, or this will be 6? And year in last year, it showed a loss. We think that there's an opportunity through connections that we've had, been able to make in the past, some of the opportunities that are out there, some of the folks that are taking a look at it, whether it's the group that has a contract, whether it exists or not, I'm not, and if there's a better contract out there. We've been making some inquiries. Mr. Griselli's been making some, there's some significant interest out there. We think we can make some good things happen. But again, I'm not here with my hand out today. There's some money in there, and I think we've got a little bit of lead time to try to make some things happen. But without creating a film commission, us having the authority to go in and vet those contracts, try to promote it, try to market it, figure out exactly what's going on. I'm just a guy on the street asking questions. Right now. Okay, that's all I am. I've got a proposal to you guys to say, here's the way I think we can make this go forward. And where you're not on the hook for that X number of hundreds in bond payments going forward. If that's a sale tomorrow to agree to that contract and you guys all agree on that, then we'll pat everybody on the back going down the road. That's just where we are.
And Robert, this thing started 3 months ago, and Matt came to me, and then he brought in a financial team, and I thought it was fabulous. And then nothing happened, and nothing happened, and nothing happened. Well, the word's out there, and it's a beautiful studio. And so, in this business, you can't drag your feet.
That's right.
You know that.
That's absolutely.
Yeah, and let me say this, because I kind of took the lead on this, Chairman Austin, and, I had some issues the first part of the year, and that did slow it down, I think, a lot was because of what happened to me. I couldn't get back with Matt and Robert. But I'd like to make a commitment to this board, and I hope everybody up here would agree that we need to get Robert everything he needs and all the information on the contract and the finances so that he can do his job. He is our economic development person, and if we trust him, we need to let him have the tools he needs to do what he can do. And I want to make a point too. You're not asking for a handout. The money's already being spent. We're already paying a marketing company, correct?
That's correct.
And that marketing company, though, is not just committed to us. We're paying a lot of money to them, and they're marketing us part-time. It's my understanding once Matt signs it, he's 100% committed to us, not part-time, right? Mr. Mazzelli, you're going to be focused totally on us. You're going to quit your job and do this, so this is a real deal for you. You've got to make it work, don't you?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I got so excited when Matt said he was going to get behind it because he's building a great interstate battery business here, and I think he can make this happen. You need to get make this happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of connections out there that he has, and I think we can make some good things happen. I understand your questions. I wish I had better answers.
What if we just didn't get you that information?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're here. Once we create the commission, you guys, ask the IBA to do those things, I think we can move forward.
Thank you. So one question, if I could.
Yes.
You say in the short term, your board would serve the role of commission. When you say short term, are you talking days, weeks, months?
Here's short term. You guys are meeting today, the IBA meets tomorrow, and the UDO meets Thursday. Okay, so there's a step in the process. Okay, the UDO has endorsed the concept. Okay, but as I stand here right now, it's a concept. Okay, so they've endorsed that concept. So if you guys were to take some action today, okay, that would immediately go to the IBA tomorrow. Okay, I'm on their agenda every month with an update. I would certainly report your action or lack of action or whatever it is. I'm going to give them a report tomorrow. The EDO meets Thursday, depending on what the IBA's, what your action is today and the IBA action is then. Let's just say for sake of argument, the film commission is created tomorrow. Okay, the EDO would have to act and for us to send out, requests for, and dialogue back with you guys, how we're going to staff, create this commission, okay, appoint the members, and we appoint it hopefully within a month or two. But the EDO would have to have the power at that point. At some point, there's going to have to be, a commission is created, then we're going to have to advertise and do those things at that point. I don't think, my board's not here, but I don't think those guys are wanting to just join another seat on another board or commission. I think they want to create that pretty quick thing. You guys know most of those guys. Yeah, it's not, we're not just going to replicate a board and do this.
One more quick point is, the board created in Douglasville is all volunteer, right?
Mm-hmm.
People,
It's all volunteer.
people on
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
And just, go ahead, you go ahead.
I guess I need to understand what it is you want them to act on, because we don't have a resolution or a proposal per se.
Yep. The three things I'd like that I think we need to have action on going forward. Is the Board of Commissioners endorse and authorize the creation of a film commission via the EDO, and will be staffed and managed by that film commission and staff of the EDO, not the board. Instruct the IBA to enter into a lease with the film commission at nominal cost, just a lease, to include all operations of the Atlanta Film Studios, including all marketing, subleasing, and any negotiations in existence or in the future for potential sale of the facility. And then also to instruct the IBA to turn over the current and future financial assets to the Film Commission to fund the operations of the Atlanta Film Studios. And I'll be happy to put that in writing to you. Yeah, this is just my notes. I wanted to get the discussion conceptual, but those are the three asks, I think, to create the film commission and make it successful going forward.
Thank you, Bob.
I said I had a pretty PowerPoint, but I wanted to discuss it first, because I didn't want to try to change my ask up here as we were talking about it.
Before you leave, Robert, have you been in, I'm sure you've talked to the IBA and asked for financials.
I've talked to their accountant and I've talked to their attorney. There's not an IBA staff. Yolanda has helped. She's given me what she had, the financials that are produced. But I met with the accountant's office as late as yesterday afternoon. It's constantly, its payments are made, constantly changing. I was trying to get the latest number today of what was actually in the account that could be used for operations. And again, I'm happy to share that number with you. Once you subtract the earnest money and the deposits out of it, I believe it's $210,886. But again, those numbers have not been audited. That's again, I hate to use the term, but I'm the guy on the street getting those numbers. But to the best of my knowledge, that would be the financial assets to manage a facility as of June 14th, whatever time in the morning it is. Flag Day, I know that.
Okay, like I said, we've met quite a few times. I have faith and trust in you.
Appreciate it.
But for this board to direct the IBA to do something, I've said this is my 6th year sitting up here, and I don't see this board directing the IBA to do anything. Now,
I get it.
we may be able to work together to sit down and have a conversation to make things work. But as far as this board saying, hey, boom, this is what we want you to do, and I didn't know this was the process we're going through, I see that as being a little backwards, because we need to hear from the IBA what they're willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is they didn't ask us about paying the bonds, they told us. And of course, we backed those bonds, so we don't have a choice, and that's what we would do anyway, okay? So as far as us directing them, that's why I said I feel like we need to sit down with them and see what they're willing to do. Because we haven't, the last couple of years, we haven't got anything done with them by telling or asking or anything else.
Right.
So I'd like to just kind of see where we're at. I'm willing to go through that process without dragging it out. And if we needed to have a called meeting or whatever, but I think we need to hear from them.
Right. You guys are you're making the bond payments. That's why I started here. That obligation doesn't go away. It's out there. It's depending on the operation and enhancement of that film studio. I mean, you're on the hook, so to speak. Again, the IBA meets tomorrow, and I'm, we'll be presenting, discussions. If you guys want to do it a different way, then that's fine. We're just trying to, look forward as a way to make this happen. You're right. The IBA didn't ask for this. They didn't come to me and say, "Hey, make this work." But they're no obligation to come to me and ask for it to work. Right. We see an opportunity and a potential to make it better, get it off the books, maybe to sell it. We think the way to do that is through the creation of a film commission. The IBA can't. We're splitting hairs a little bit. The IBA can't instruct me to form a film commission, and they can tell me to take a hike tomorrow morning. That's all well and good. The place I have to start to create this film commission and talk about the obligation of those monies is with the Board of Commissioners. That's why I'm here. I'm not trying to, there's no in run.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no, like I said, I've met with their attorney, I've met with their staff. Their director, who's now gone, was in one of the meetings. I think Chairman, Mr. Collette, was there. He was, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, he was all behind this. He said he thought this was a great idea. So we've had those discussions at that level with some of the members, the attorney, and the staff that was in place at the time. But yeah, I mean, I had to start where the buck stops here, so that's where I'm going to start.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate y'all.
Bid awards, discuss action to award the replacement of lighting project to the lowest responses bidder, West Georgia Lighting and Design Services, in the amount of $236,500.
Good morning. This is a project that will be put in at the Union Ballpark that is currently in existence, and it's replacing the lighting. We received we had two participants in the process. One didn't do a pre-qualification of turning in specs, so they were disqualified. And so we had one bidder that participated in the entire process, and we're recommending an award to West Georgia Lighting Design and Service in the amount of $236,500. We did have an estimate going in of $230,000, so it was very close.
Any questions? Thank you. Reports from committees and departments. Fire Chief Joy Pelfrey, updates for the fire department and the new community emergency response team for Polk County.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'll start off with a little good news this morning. This reason I have this departmental report. We recently, I'm happy to say, received a $1 million grant from the Department of Homeland Security for an aerial ladder. It's a platform 100-foot aerial ladder. Federal share will be $909,000 and some change. So we were very excited about that. It's something that we've been needing. They had over 4,000 applications for Homeland Security, and we were able to do it in-house with all of our personnel and had an extensive application period. So we're very happy to say that we got that. We had a lot of hands in the pot looking at this application when we sent it in. And this is our second attempt. Thanks go to Tabitha, helped us a lot with the financing on it, and Senator Isaacson, Johnny Isaacson, helped us with a support letter, and we were able to secure this. They gave out over $300 million is what they're giving out this year for the Assistance to Firefighter Grant, and almost 25% of that is for vehicle acquisitions. So we would feel very fortunate that we're able to do it, and very happy to do it. And we've got 12 months to purchase it. So we've got committees together right now working on that, and so hopefully we'll bring back something to you when we get this going. 12 months is not a long time to purchase a large truck of that nature. So, before you, I believe I laid Before you, I put some information there. I'm going to be brief. I know you've got a long meeting, but if you look at the information there, I just wanted to show you the call increase. I went back to FY14. Just show you the call increase that we've got. So that's some of the documentation on the front. We're having an average of 7 to 8% increase in calls, mostly EMS calls. And so you've got that to look at in your spare time. I also put in something there on the Narcan. If you look at that third page, that's a drug that we started carrying 2 years ago because of all the opiate overdoses that we're having. It's an epidemic nationwide, as well as here. Opiates can be anything from Vicodin to heroin, prescription drugs of all kinds. We were able to put Narcan on the trucks, got it approved by Region 1. We've administered it. The fire department has administered it 27 times since we've started it. We had a 70% success rate, which is very good. And I believe it was 19 times we were able to reverse the effects of the opiate and bring people out of their coma and their medical condition. So that's something of note that I wanted you to know that we had. And the rest of it in there is just inspections, fire safety education, and things like that, showing you what we've been up to as far as that goes. EMA, I am the EMA director, so that's part of this presentation as well. We recently, I don't know if you recall, we did receive a $5,000 grant for a CERT program. Excuse me. And we graduated our first members with that. It's 22 members in that, and I believe Rick O'Neill is here. Rick is one of ours. He's a citizen that applied for to be in the program. And also we have the instructor, Sergeant Clockfelter. We taught it in-house, him and Chief New. It was a 6-week program. They had a problem.
You guys come up here so people can see it.
Put you on the spot. Right up front.
This is called an Iron Squad right here.
So we were able to purchase all the equipment, all the instructional material, and all with the grant that we received. As I said, Sergeant Clockfelter is a trainer, and he was able to teach along with Chief Kevin New, who I guess is busy. I got him busy back in the office. What the CERT program is, it's a disaster preparedness program where we teach them about hazards that impact their area. It trains them in basic disaster response skills such as fire safety, light search and rescue, team organization, and disaster medical information. So pretty much we train them to take care of their families, their neighborhood, and the community as well. If we have any disasters, and we open the Red Cross shelters that we have, that they have training for that. We did a program for that, so they can work in that. They work in disaster relief centers. If we activate a search and rescue, I think recently we had somebody with Alzheimer's that was lost. We could activate them, and they are trained in that area as well to assist us with that. When disasters happen, your resources are really stretched thin, so we can use citizens that want to help. And we're going to expand this program even more. We plan on trying to hit all the areas and sectors, neighborhoods, and try to get other people involved in the CERT program. It's very important whenever we do have disasters, and we're just a day away from when you know that. It can happen anytime. So I want to thank them for everything they did, especially Matt, coming in on this at night, doing the 6 to 10 p.m. classes that kind of stretched him a little. So thank y'all so much.
Joey, you come get in the picture.
Greg's getting out of it back there high.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. You know, in the past, when we've had tornadoes and other type things, Gosh West Ridge Church and the whole group of folks have gotten together and they've run a volunteer program. You're saying this is a certified volunteer program?
Yes, those, what you're talking about are the faith-based programs such as Samaritan's Purse, things of that nature. Yes, we would actually work hand in hand with them, and they actually, we've been contacted by some churches, and they actually want to go through this program. So we'll be instructed in that program as well. And it not only helps you within the community, it helps you with your families, how to prepare for your families and be prepared for anything when disaster happens. Some of the other things, we've got the generator you guys approved. It should be installed by the end of the month from the grant that we received, a $50,000 grant on that. Excuse me. And we've upgraded our Code Red warning system. We encourage everybody to get on Code Red. It's a weather notification system that will only contact you during a warning and not a watch and bother you. It will call you on your phone. All you have to do is go on quality.gov, and there's a link there to register for it. It will even call you in the area where the storm is. So if there's a weather warning in South Paulding, it will not bother people in North Paulding. Only the people in South Paulding receive the notification. So it is very important for you to sign up for that. If you can do that, we strongly encourage you. And other than that,
I've been out of state and gotten that warning, so it's fabulous what you're doing and implementing that. Several years ago, I think, about 5 years ago, we did Code Red.
That's right. And actually, the Alzheimer's patient that was missing, they actually called the area where that person lived a couple of weeks ago, and it was, I think, it contacted 300 people, and we activated then, and it worked real well, and they gave the notification to them to be able to look out for that patient.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. At this point, I am going to call for a short 5-minute break, or a restroom break, and we'll be back here in 5 minutes. I appreciate the 5-minute break. It helped us also take care of some business up here for this afternoon, so thank you very much. Call the meeting back to order. And I now ask Frank Baker, Court Administrator, and make this announcement. They weren't here when we first appreciated our elected officials, but Judge Dean Bucci, thank you for being here. Thank you. And in the meantime, Kim Cobb came in. I don't know if she's, there she is. Thank you for being here, Board of Education. Frank, I think you got an update for us on felony and drug court.
Mr. Chairman, yes, we appreciate the opportunity to be here. I'm going to just take care of a couple of housekeeping things and deal with some money issues, and then we'll let Judge Bucci talk about the good stuff that's happening with the drug court. We're here today for those two reasons, to give you an update and also to request some assistance with some funding. And the good thing is we're not going to ask for any general fund money at all. We have received a notification of a grant in the amount of $144,428, and that's from the
One more time,
$144,428, and that's from the Accountability Court Judges Funding Council, or committee. There is a 10% match that amounts to $14,443 that will need to be with that grant for it to be complete. We'd ask today for you all to consider signing off on that and ask that this be put on the agenda for this afternoon's meeting so that you can vote on it. This should help with the funding for next year. We're not asking for any general fund money. And that was one of the things that both Judge Bucci and I had pledged last year when we came before you, about this time last year, is we wanted to do this with grant funding. And we can do that even with a match. We're asking also that the chairman be authorized as part of this to execute not only the necessary documents to get the grant, but also to execute the documents to allow for the date fund, which is money that can only be used for drug education and abuse treatment, to cover not only the 10% grant, but money for treatment and also for the surveillance officer that we need that's not included in the grant money. So the total grant out of the day fund would be $55,443. And again, that includes the 10% match. The day fund and the grant that we get should allow us to continue the good stuff that's going on with the drug court through FY17. And again, we can't say this enough. We're very pleased to be over here and not asking for any general fund money. So we'd ask for consideration this afternoon on that. And now I'm going to turn it over to Judge Bushi so he can tell you all the good things that are going on with the drug court.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Judge.
Let me thank Mr. Baker publicly. He's been vital. He's been very helpful. I want to thank the Commission and Finance for all of your support. We've been here a few times now, and in January we had no participants. Today we have 10. It's hard work for them. It's hard work for us, but I believe we're making a difference. This is an alternative to doing things the old way, just locking people up and forgetting about them. Over 95% of people who are locked up will be released, and the question is, who do we want to be releasing back into our community? People who are still drug addicts, people who are still thinking like criminals, or people who are now producers, people who are holding jobs, people who are paying into the tax base, people who no longer think like criminals but are reformed. Nothing is perfect, but this program, I believe, is the best we can try yet. So thank you for your support. We're growing it, and we can do it without you, so thank you.
I think thanks goes out to Governor Deal. Either one started to.
Absolutely. What was happening, and I may have mentioned this to you before, Chairman, but between around 1990 and 2010, we doubled the amount of people in custody in the state, and we doubled the cost of the criminal justice system, keeping those people. And it was just unsustainable, so we're trying something different, and it's working.
When you say you have 10 participants, that includes their family, not just the individual, but...
We have 10 people who would otherwise be in jail or in prison that are working their way through the program. And we're adding to that at about a rate of about 2 a month. We're growing it steady because we're kind of figuring some things out as we go. We're growing at a safe rate.
We're trying to get this worded properly for our afternoon meeting. Is there anything else you need?
I guess I would need one of y'all to make a motion to add this to the afternoon agenda, and the way I guess I would word it is the Judge of the Superior Court will recommend the Chairman and the Board of Commissioners accept the aforementioned grant, which is the language that you have, and the Chairman be authorized to execute all necessary documents with respect to said grant in the amount of $144,428 with a 10% match in the amount of $14,433 to be obtained from the date fund. Do you need language about the $55,000 or not?
Well, the $55,000 is the total amount from the date fund, and that's a separate issue totally.
That's what I thought. Okay.
But we wanted to make sure that the chairman and the board knew where that match was going to come from. It wasn't going to come from general fund money. That was the important thing. But to also supplement the additional services that we need from treatment providers and from the surveillance. And surveillance the sheriff's office provides us an opportunity at night to go out and check on these folks. And Judge Bucci can expand on that a lot more than I can. But those two elements would be included in the day fund. So that's the $55,000 out of the day fund. So it's really two issues. One is the acceptance of the grant and the execution of the documents for the day fund money.
Okay.
I'll make that motion. You want to read it again?
What we would put on this afternoon would be to approve through the Chairman of the Board of Commissioners to accept the aforementioned grant, and that the Chairman be authorized to execute all necessary documents with regard to said grant in the amount of the $144,428 with a match from the date fund and all documents necessary for that.
Is there a second?
Second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Okay, that'll put it on this afternoon. And then this afternoon would be any formal action.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if I could also thank Tabitha for her tremendous help in this over last year. And grant
Bless
all
you.
those issues that come up with grants, and she's just terrific to work with. We're very lucky to have Palm County members.
We are.
Thank you.
We're lucky to have both of y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kelly Comstock with Brandon Caldwell with an update for the Richland Creek Rescue.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right. Pleased to be here to give you an update, a brief update on the Richland Creek Water Supply Program. We've got a lot of great activities that are ongoing, and we thought it would be prudent to brief the board on some of the ongoing construction and procurement activities. If you recall, we've awarded a contract for timber harvesting at the water treatment plant site, as well as the dam area, as well as an entrance road project coming off of 61. That's well under construction. Reese Timber Harvesting has completed the timber harvest at the water treatment plant area, and Brad Cole construction is heavily underway at the entrance road. They've installed all the erosion control at the new joint road that's going to serve the future park, as well as the water treatment plant. They've initiated construction of that road, and they've started initial grading at the water treatment plant site. They've initiated construction along Highway 61, so people that travel in that area of 61, you'll see that construction is ongoing. We had to receive a GDOT permit for that work, and that permit's in place, as well as a stream crossing. There will be a bridge that crosses over an existing stream, and that permit has been received by the Corps. They're on track to be completed by the end of August timeframe with this contract, so things are moving very well with this initial site prep contract. In terms of the reservoir, if you recall, we're under procurement for that right now. We had qualified 6 different contractors, and we've seen a tremendous amount of activity from them. 5 of the 6 have actually, at their own cost, mobilized equipment to the dam site to be able to do additional geotechnical work in some of the borrow areas. That's a lot of investment that they bear at their own cost, so that shows that they're very interested in pursuing this, and they're putting together very aggressive bids. 4 of the 6 came back and requested a time extension for additional time, and we felt it was in the best interest of the county to provide that for them. So originally this was anticipated to be in front of you today, but we elected to defer it, so it will go to the Water and Sewer Advisory Board next month, and it will come to you next month as well, and that will give them additional time for bidding. The bid opening currently is June 24th. We were able to hold the Corps of Engineers pre-construction conference that was required, that was part of our permit. That was held on the 8th and was very successful. We had members of the Corps of Engineers as well as the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service come and meet with the program, as well as the county and representatives from the design engineer. And we were able to tour the site with them, and they were very pleased with everything that they had seen. So we met that permit requirement. The timber harvest for the dam area will actually commence tomorrow. That's the end of the period that they had to stay out of the dam footprint for the Cherokee Darter mating period, so that will start tomorrow. We anticipate that should be done within 1 to 2 months. They'll be able to be out of there, so that when the dam contractor comes in late August, early September, they'll be able to take the site and be able to begin work on the dam itself. In terms of the water treatment plant and pump station, PC Construction has successfully competitively bid all of the program components, which was a requirement from their contract. They have developed their guaranteed maximum price, and they have submitted it to the county. It's within the program budget, and it's going to be presented as an agenda item number, or new business item number 3 for you today. The construction is anticipated to begin in late August, early September. Once the early site preparation package is complete, they will be able to mobilize and begin work on the water treatment plant and pump stations. In terms of the raw water pipeline, this is the pipeline that will convey the water from the Etowah River to the reservoir to fill the reservoir. That project is under design. If you recall, it's a design-build contract. They've reached the 60% milestone in terms of the design, and they've submitted that to the county and the program manager for review. We've met with Bartow County to make them aware that we're going to be initiating easement procurement processes now that the design is essentially fixed, and we've begun that process of contacting landowners along the route to initiate easement acquisition.
Yeah, this is not the first time you contacted. They've been.
Yes, sir. They were initially contacted as far back as 2011 when the permit was put in place. This route was selected. We were able to stay in the same alignment along the same route as within our original 404 permit. So people are well aware that this pipeline is following this route. It's anticipated that construction on this pipeline will start in late 2016 and should be complete in about a year in late 2017. The finished water pipeline and booster pump station, if you recall, that was a design project that was awarded to Atkins We've issued a notice to proceed to them, and we've held an initial kickoff meeting with them, and they will initiate the design and should be complete by January. At that time, we'll procure a contractor for that pipeline. That will go from the water treatment plant down here to 278 and tie in to the existing distribution system to be able to take the water that we're now producing within the county and distribute it to all of your customers throughout your current water system network. We anticipate the construction to be complete by March of 2019 in that time frame. Good news in terms of the overall program, we're still on track with the budget. The first column is our original cost estimate at $215 million. As of this moment, you have $40 million of that under contract. What is coming to the commission today will be another just over $90 million. These numbers include engineering, program management, as well as construction costs. So these are all encompassing, including what the county had to deal with in terms of mitigation costs for stream impacts and wetland impacts. We've got the remaining estimates. The two big items that are still outstanding are the reservoir and then the finished water pipeline. The reservoir will be coming to you next month, and so that means when the county goes to the bond market this fall, you'll have over 80% of the program under contract. So that'll be very good for you. As you know, reservoir contracts have a tendency to be known as projects that can escalate in terms of cost. And so when we go to the bond market with over 80% under contract, that will look very good from a bond rating standpoint. We'll talk a little bit about the water treatment plant component later on in agenda item number 3 when we get to that. In terms of public outreach, we did have an artwork and mascot competition, and they were very successful. Over 40 different submissions were made. The winning artwork is actually on display in the customer service office and at rcrwater.com. These are elementary students that created many masterpieces like man squirting water into his face from the side, we need water for our horse, and the enchanted water treatment plant were all some of the ones that were our favorites. So you can view all of these downstairs. They're on display in the customer service office. So after this meeting, if you have some time, it would be great to take a look at that. Additionally, the high school had a mascot competition, and this was the winning mascot that was selected, Becky the Beaver, which is very makes a lot of sense for a dam project, and it was done by Catherine Rogers of North Paulding High School. So this mascot is being rendered, and that will become the mascot that will be used for the overall program. So you'll see a little bit more of Becky the Beaver as time progresses. So any questions on the update of the program?
You're doing an excellent job. Fortunate Patty, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
You may have walked in the hallway downstairs, and this will be moved around, but I was in attendance of the Georgia Student Finance Commission meeting, which is the Hope Scholarship. I serve on that board at the pleasure of the governor. While we were there, and up in North Georgia, they had the Zell Miller display. Is honoring Zell Miller and his lifetime and what he's committed to this state. So when you're outside, that's on loan from Student Finance Commission. It'll move all around the state. We were just fortunate enough to pick it up that day, and thank you, Pat, for getting it displayed for us. I appreciate it. Public participation on agenda item. There was no one wishing to speak. Consent agenda, discuss 3 areas of consent agenda. June 14, 2016 consent agenda. Number 1, adopt job classification, quality assurance accreditation specialist for 911. This is Christina Kelly. I think it's pretty self-explanatory if you need to ask her any more questions. Number 2, acceptance of the following subdivision streets for perpetual maintenance. This comes from Ann Lippman. Ivy Meadows Phase 1, Weston Way, Ivy Cottage Loop, Ivy Cottage Court, Ivy Meadow Drive, Oakland Crossing, Wesleyan Place, Wesleyan Way, Wesleyan Court. Number 3, declare the items listed as surplus and approve of their disposal through auction or trade. This is coming from Tabitha and Scott, DOT Unit 186, 1996 Vermeer. That's a wood chipper. and serial number. DOT unit number 86, that's a 2000 Ford F-250 with a serial number. Would you like to move any of these items to regular session? There's no old business under new business. Public hearing on the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant application. Bonnie, I believe this item's under you.
Really under both Tabitha and I. It's with the Sheriff's Department, and these are the list of items that lie. So, you want to go ahead?
I will. And we also have Lieutenant Colonel Chad Clinton here on behalf of Gary Gilbert for any questions that we may have. This grant is one of the simplest grants to administer that we have. We've received it almost every year for the past 5 or 6 years that I'm sure of. And it's in the amount of $16,671. It supplies our Sheriff's Department with additional equipment.
$16,000.
$671. Basically, we make a purchase for the equipment, we send it in, and they reimburse us for that purchase. So it's very simple. The purpose of the equipment and the grant is, I'm just going to read this, if that's okay, because it's the best explanation I can give. In order to improve the capability of the Sheriff's Office so that we may respond to any possible terrorist or domestic threat, grant funds will be used to purchase tactical equipment, a new ICOR claw kit attachment for the tactical robot, as well as 5 9-4 scopes with illuminated meal dot reticule. We will also use grant funds to purchase tactical audio-video mini-caliber command post video transmitter to be used with the tactical robot. We believe that the purchase of additional tactical tools for the robot, as well as the updated scopes, will enhance the deputy's effectiveness in the dangerous situations for which they are called to respond. This claw attachment will allow them to react quickly, efficiently, and safely while executing missions which often are life-threatening. And it will open a car door, break windows, deflate tires, or reach into a narrow confined places to receive suspicious packages or devices without putting the SWAT operator in harm's way. The mini caliber video transmitter will permit the command staff of the Sheriff's Office and the SWAT team to see exactly what the robot sees when it's sent into locations which are unsafe for the operator. So this allows our Sheriff's Office the ability to go in and see a dangerous situation without having to put somebody's life in danger with a piece of equipment.
Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
I can, sir. Good morning. I appreciate the opportunity to be here for y'all's consideration for the hearing on this grant. We've actually been receiving this grant as far back as I can remember as 2004. It has dropped significantly over the years, but now it's starting to rebound. We got $2,000 more this year than we did last year. This additional equipment, I know most folks aren't going to know. We're talking about the claw kit, attachment kits, and all this type of stuff. But the Sheriff's Office, on our tactical operations unit, our SWAT team, we have a tactical robot, and it's called a mini caliber. We nicknamed her Susie, but she is instrumental in our operations. In the last 2 weeks, our team has been deployed 3 times. 2 operations, one on, we were actually activated them twice on Memorial Day. The second activation was 12.5 hours. And then this past Wednesday, almost a week ago, we were activated for 8.5 hours. All 3 incidents, we were dealing with a gunman that was barricaded. 2 of the incidents, deputies were almost shot in the process while they responded. So this equipment is vital to keeping our deputies and our team safe. Obviously, if we're dealing with somebody with a rifle, the sheriff nor myself want to send deputies into that situation unless absolutely necessary.
So this robot has been vital to our operations and giving us eyes on the inside. Just to give another note, last summer, almost a year ago, Susie was shot with a shotgun on the south side of the county, and the perpetrator thought it was a deputy. You know, he thought it was a SWAT team member trying to make entry on the door. We were opening the door with the robot, and he shot the robot. So the robot's expendable to me. So this money's vital to us, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Public hearing is now open.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. For public comment, if anyone would like to come up and speak. They have returned Memorial Justice Assistance, right? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I will close the public hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Number 2, discuss action to approve a contract allotment increase in the amount of $79,000 for completion of the Bob Brogan Drive project. Funding is provided by Paulding County School District according to the intergovernmental agreement dated February 12, 2015. Scott Green.
Thank you. We are wrapping up the widening contract for Bob Brogan Road leading into the North Paulding campus. And the road is open now and it's flowing very well. During the project, we didn't encounter any major problems, but we did increase some quantities to make the road ride better, drain better, and traffic flow a little better. This is just an allotment increase in the overall contract amount. The IGA agreement we have is still within budget with the completion of this contract. And we also have 3 more projects lined up for this summer to keep on moving forward with this agreement.
Try to meet with Cliff Cole, either school superintendent on a monthly or quarterly basis, as we need to, but we've always had the doors of communication open. The school board has been great to work with. In the past, there was an allocation of funds for projects like this coming out of the school board, and they've stepped up to the plate, made those funds available to us. And it's a great partnership then to have our DOT director implement those plans. So thank you. Great job.
Appreciate your support with this contract. I think with each project we've implemented, we've seen a significant or dramatic increase in traffic flow. And all our feedback has been excellent so far.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott, I spoke with 3 of the members of the school board yesterday, and they all echoed what Chairman just said about their appreciation for the dedication from the county DOT, and they're all very excited, specifically about this one road. Apparently it's like the worst traffic anywhere, and so they all are very excited to get this resolved. So thank you.
That is true. This is the only campus with a 4-lane road going in and out of it.
Number 3, discuss action to approve the guaranteed maximum price GMP of $86,795.45 for PC construction for the construction of the Richland Creek Water Supply Program Water Treatment Plant, Reservoir Intake and Pump Station, and Etowah River Intake and Pump Station. This is Roy, but this is Kelly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This agenda item is for the GMP, or guaranteed maximum price, for the construction of the water treatment plant, the reservoir intake and pump station, as well as the Etowah River intake and pump station for the Richland Creek Water Supply Program. If you recall, PC Construction was placed under contract in late 2014 for providing construction manager at risk, or CMAR, services for these scope items: the water treatment plant, reservoir pump station, and the Etowah River pump station. Bringing the contractor on board during the design process allowed us to have them at the table throughout the design, to look at construction costs throughout the design process, to look at schedule, constructability, how things could be constructed actually once the design is complete, to give their input, and to come up with value engineering ideas and alternative concepts and ways of doing things that could be more cost effective for the county. The process was very successful. It accomplished exactly what we wanted it to accomplish, and it's driven down the cost throughout the design process. These are the published estimates at the various points of design. At 30%, we were at $98.5 million. By 60%, we had driven it down to 89, And at 100%, once they've established their GMP, we've hit $86.7 million. It's not atypical to have the CMAR lock in at 30% or 60%. But in this case, because of the core permit and the need to basically stay out of the Cherokee darter mating period, we were going to have the dam contract dealing with all of that and starting after that period. The water treatment plant really will run, the construction will run parallel to the dam. So there was no reason to lock in at an earlier date. It made the most sense to go ahead and go to the 100% design point before bringing the GMP before you. One of the requirements that GIFA had was that 100% of the project had to be competitively bid. And that's what we've been doing over the past several months. These were the listing of all of the different packages and scope items associated with the project. They were all competitively bid, and I really want to say thank you to the purchasing department for all of their work in facilitating all of this. We held all of these bid openings here to be able to be completely transparent with the process. So this is a listing of the subcontractors that will be doing these various scope element items. A couple of things to point out. Brad Cole Construction is going to be doing the site work. They're the same contractor that's actually on site doing the initial site prep. So there really will be a very easy changeover from the one project to the other for them. Another item is that there are several items you'll see where PC Construction is listed. They were actually the low bidder. They were allowed to bid these items as well. And so they came in lower compared to some of the other bids that were received. So they are allowed under their contract to self-perform. And then you'll see there are a couple items that say no responsive bidders were received. Those are generally smaller scope items or items like asphalt where it's difficult to lock in several years in advance because the price changes so rapidly. Yet there was a requirement to competitively bid it through GIFA. We also required a bid bond per GIFA requirements. A lot of these contractors, like a fencing contractor, won't go to the effort of getting a bid bond. So what happens now is that there are specific allowance items within the GMP for these items, and those allowances are controlled by the county. So for example, in the estimate there may be $100,000 in there for fencing. Once a contractor is procured by PC, if that's $80,000, then the $20,000 remains with the county. Since it's a guaranteed maximum price, if that item happened to be higher than that, PC would cover the cost of that. So they're very cognizant of the estimates that they put forward, and they've been working with various local suppliers for these items. It's just many of them were not willing to do the bid bond and go through that process. So we do anticipate having a lot of local participation in some of these items like landscaping, fencing, curbs and gutter, that type of thing.
Let me correct what I said earlier. I had a period where there should have been a comma, and Kelly corrected it, but it's $86,795,045.
Yes, sir. Yes, correct. So under their current contract, the next step is to award the guaranteed maximum price. And as I mentioned before, the GMP is based on 100% design. So as a result, we've kept the contingency within the contract low because there's really not a lot of unknowns at this point. The design is 100% locked down. The GMP does include $741,000 of contingency and allowance items that are under the control of Paulding County. Some of those are the items that I talked about before. Others are technology items. For example, computers. We didn't want to specify the make and model of a computer that's going to be purchased 2 years into the future because that changes so rapidly. So we've got an allowance item for that, once again, fully under the control of Paulding County. The total GMP is $86,795,045. It's within 2% of the original line item budget element that we had for this. It was a little bit higher due to the cost of the electrical contractors. All of them came in over budget for what that line item was within the GMP, and that's occurring throughout our industry. Electrical contractors, the same ones we use at this project, are doing stadium work right now. We're doing commercial work. However, overall cost was within what we had for program budget contingency, so we're right on track in terms of the overall program cost. So once again, this is a big component of the program. After this authorization today, we'll be 60% under contract with everything within the total $215 million associated with the program. So with that, go ahead and open it up to any questions you might have on the water treatment plant GMP.
This is all, the presentation all comes from our water and sewer advisory, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, this went in front of them on the 9th. and they unanimously approved it.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I've got a question, Mr. Comstock.
Yes.
You know this project's going on for a long time, it spans several boards, so probably just me not being here, I know everything, so you can help me out here.
Sure.
On the program cost summary, I noticed that it's 88,295. Is that supposed to be updated to match the?
No, that includes part of that cost, authorization number 4 that's coming in front of you today. That's for additional program management services. So that, you're talking about the presentation or the table I gave earlier today?
Yes, it's also in our backup, it's a,
Yes.
it says program cost summary.
Correct, yeah, so that includes engineering, program management costs, as well as the construction costs. So what's coming to you today, the 88 million, includes some of the program management costs.
86 million.
Correct, 86 of that is the water treatment plant. Yes.
Okay, and also on that same page, currently under contract, it said 12,221,000.
Correct. That's associated with the design, program management, mitigation, permitting, everything that's already been done in terms of preparatory work to this point for the water treatment plants and pump stations.
And those weren't part of the guarantee max?
No, no. The GMP is strictly for the construction aspect of it.
Okay.
I guess I would say that it is within the 215.
Yes, yes, everything is within the 250, yeah.
Thank you. Remain here because you get.
So we're still right on track.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And this was great news because it shows that we're tracking with the 215 and we're 100% where we thought we would be.
Everything's good, no surprises.
No, sir.
And you'll be around
No
after
surprises.
this.
Everything is
Good.
Yes, sir.
You'll be around after this and before the 2 o'clock meeting if a couple of us had any questions. Does it come up with? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Number 4, discuss action to approve the RCR Program Management Funding Authorization number 2 for Program Management Services in the amount of $4,100,000. Lori Ashby.
Thank you. Thank you. Brown Caldwell was awarded the program management contract in October of 2014 as a result of a competitive selection process that the county entered into. It was for a 4-year contract with an initial funding authorization that was planned to be for the initial 12 months with subsequent funding authorizations coming, such as this one coming before you for approval. As a result of the permitting and as well as the management of those initial funds, they have lasted us for 20 months and 8 months longer than we had originally anticipated. All work that is done under this program management funding authorization is allocated on a task order basis with specific scopes and budgets that are authorized for each activity. So we break that down into additional detail. Just to review the work that has been done under that initial authorization, we have had procurement assistance. We've got the 5 primary elements of the project with both design and construction procurement, plus the minor contracts for power, for logging, and other elements of getting this program constructed. They've been providing contract management with the various contracts, coordination with all of the different elements, making sure that everyone's communicating between all of the different parties to this program. Public outreach and communication, that's what a lot of people see of our program. We have our website up and running. We have done a lot of community outreach. Kelly Comstock and Mark Lethbridge have both done numerous briefings and speaking to community meetings, civic organizations. We've also had our outreach to schools, not just with the art contest, but with providing input in science curriculum that can be implemented around water. Brown & Caldwell has also provided design review and project coordination. Of all of the contracts, not just the dam, but the water treatment plant, the pump stations, and the pipeline contracts. They're coordinating design to accommodate owner preferences. There's been coordination, they've provided some technical support with coordination of our distribution system hydraulic model and our master planning process for the future of our distribution system with the water treatment plant itself. There's also coordination with our SCADA system, which is at the computer systems that monitor and control our system. So there'll be a SCADA at the water plant, SCADA implementation there. We have existing SCADA network through our distribution system, through our wastewater plants, and our pump stations. So a lot of coordination to see that we're not just adding another layer, but integrating our systems. Still under our existing authorization, financial assistance. They've assisted us in working with GFA on obtaining the state direct investment for the finished water pipeline, have been coordinating with GFA on the loan requirements, have been really supplementing our staff in preparing and submitting loan draws to GFA. In addition, members of their team have prepared the financial model and the financial plan for the program and the rate and then the rate setting. Permitting assistance, they were side by side with us as we worked toward finalizing our 404 permit, and then last week with really making sure that we're starting off on the right foot with complying with that permit. I have to brag on Kelly for a minute because last week we did have our pre-construction conference with the Corps of Engineers, and the Corps came out of that meeting saying that they had really anticipated a very long meeting because there were a number of special conditions in our permit, and walking through them one by one, they just didn't have any idea how long that was going to take. Because of the preparation that Kelly had done for that meeting, they came out just so complimentary of that. Kelly had prepared a document that summarized each of the conditions and where we were. And so they were able to walk through, know that we're committed to fully complying with that permit.
Ed Johnson sent me a note and said it was delightful working with y'all in Brown and Caldwell.
Wonderful. It's been a long time, but a year ago we were working on a bat assessment for the northern long-eared bat, and its possibility of being located on our reservoir site. There has been additional biological monitoring in the streams that has been conducted, some historic data analysis. We've been monitoring the temperature in Richland Creek for the last several years. The program has pulled that together and submitted it to Fish and Wildlife Service to look at our temperature requirements for the water coming out of the dam. And then they've also coordinated the installation of the USGS monitoring station. So we've done all of that in the last 20 months in that initial funding authorization. What we're anticipating now is continued contract administration as we move into construction. We anticipate Brown & Caldwell basically being our agent on the water treatment plant and reservoir construction, as well as all of the other contracts associated with the program, being full-time on the site throughout construction. There will actually be trailers located on the site. Brown & Caldwell will have people on that site, making sure that that coordination continues so that the program stays on budget and on schedule. The permit compliance will be continuing. We've still got some permitting with EPD to complete, and then to monitor compliance with that. They will be doing program document control on-site. Projects this large, we are talking about hundreds of submittals for review by the engineers and hundreds of requests for information from the contractors. And so making sure that those are all routed appropriately, monitored so that they're responded to in a timely basis will help us reach a successful end to our program. They'll be providing inspection services on the raw water pipeline, the finished water pipeline, and the Macklin tank projects. We have, you've already approved the inspection services by Arcadis for the water treatment plant and for the dam. We continue to talk about bonding. There will be some additional financial and engineering support to that bond issue that we will request through the program. They're continuing to provide us easement acquisition assistance, both for our raw water line, and we'll be moving forward toward getting easements with the finished water pipeline as well. Organizational assistance. Let me tell you, we're entering a new time. We're going to be integrating a treatment plant and reversing flow through our system. It's a very exciting time. Organizationally, it's also going to require some molding of organization and staff, and implementation of new tools to be able to effectively manage that new asset. And so we'll be looking to them to support us as we build that team to be able to supply finished water to our system. We're also anticipating continued public outreach being done under the contract, both the type that we're talking about today, as well as materials. We talked about Becky Beaver and our last stakeholder communication. We talked about Becky being part of our educational materials about how does water treatment work. Getting out into the schools, talking about water careers and opportunities for our young people within the water industry. So we'll be branching out into a few more activities on the public outreach.
Lori, this comes to us as a recommendation from the Water and Sewer Advisory.
Yes. On June 9th, we discussed this with the Water and Sewer Advisory Board, and they unanimously recommend this to you.
Any questions?
I have a question maybe for Mr. Comstock. There's a letter that was addressed to Ms. Ashmore talking about requesting for 2 additional years of funding, $4.1 million. It's also in the materials we have here, a list of the kind of a breakdown and an estimate of hours. A question for clarification: the letter references the 2-year, the breakdown given the number of hours at the bottom line says recommended year 1 funding at 4.1. So is that a typo?
Yes, sir. That's a typo. I apologize for that. I've got one question too. The original 2.1 was for 1 year, and we got 20 months out of it, correct?
Correct.
The 4.1 is for 2 years or 1 year? That's where
this is for the period through construction,
it should be 2 years.
which is a little over 2 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Then reading the letter, your letter, Lord, it's going to be a third payment also.
We may have some support during startup and the initial operation of the treatment plant. And at this point, it was there's some uncertainty associated with that. It depends on how we staff as to what will be needed. So we just put that in there so that you know that we might need to. We'll be discussing how we operate and what support we'll need at that point.
Okay. Because of that, you can't even make a ballpark figure of what that payment would be.
I really can't at this point.
Any other questions? Thank you, magnificent job. Appreciate it. That's the conclusion of our regular business session. We do have executive session for real estate, discussion of our public buildings and security plans pursuant to OCGA section 50-14-3. So do I hear a motion to go into executive session for those purposes?
Motion to go into executive session for those purposes.
Second. Motion second, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will return, we'll say we are back in the open session, no action taken in closed session. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second. Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.